it's amazing too. I think a little lesson in there, David, is you had all these times where you thought, now I've changed. And that's important for people to hear too, because I've had that too. It's like, hey, now I got it. Now I'm on it. Now, and even seeing your dad, even the dad thing, that was a breakthrough. But then even after that, it was like, it took the damn freaking cockroaches and rodents to flip you. And then even after that, you run the quarter mile, come home crying to yourself.
Right.
So it's all these things. Like, I think everyone thinks like there's just going to be this defining moment period where everything changes.
'Cause that's the movie.
That's
the movie.
And it's not real,
No.
is it? I've had moments, but it's never been like, that was it, and I've never been the same again.
No, this is life.
Yeah.
And that's what I talk about, man. Like life is not a movie. It's not a movie where you have one breakthrough and like you just taking off. No, man.
Didn't you have to do Hell Week 3 times?
Yeah, so
Why?
how that happened was, once again, this is where the war really began.
Okay.
So now I'm in SEAL training and I'm like almost in awe, because I'm like, my God, I'm around the baddest men on the planet from what I thought back then. But once you are able to get in the doors, you realize they're just fucking men. And that's when I realized, okay, this is good for me to see, man. They're fucking like me. I had to work a little harder to get here, but now that I'm on the same playing field as them, let's fucking go to war, guys. So how it happened was, there was a guy there at the command officer of Buds was Captain Bowen. He was an old crusty Vietnam vet, and he had a different way of doing shit. And basically, no matter where you're at in training, if you failed something, he was gonna roll you back to day one, week one. We had guys who were 2 weeks from graduation, 6-month program, that got rolled back to day one, week one. They didn't have to go through Hell Week again, but they got rolled back to phase one, day one of phase one, but they skipped Hell Week. For me, I got rolled back in first phase 3 times. First phase where Hell Week is at. And how it happened was, since I was a reservist, that also fucked me.
Okay.
So I had a double fuck on my ass. So basically, Hell Week was, I think, the 3rd or 4th week when I was going through. And it starts on Sunday, ends on Friday. I get there, and I had fucked up shin splints, stress fractures, double pneumonia. So I get rolled back to day one, week one. And I got to start Hell Week again. I didn't complete that Hell Week. So now, I get to my second class, day one, week when I'm going through. I get through Hell Week, happy as shit. But when I was in Hell Week, I actually broke my kneecap. And I'm thinking, I'm not getting rolled again, dude. And I really talk about this really good in the book, but I'll go through the highlights here. So I'm toughing it out. I'm like, I'm gonna go through Buds with a fucking broken knee. And my stress fractures are on fucking fire. But I'm going through. So now I have to do this, we had this knot tying test after Hell Week, and you gotta tread water. And when you're treading with a broken kneecap, and I'm negative buoyant, so I'm using everything to stay up. And you gotta go down and tie your knots. My kneecap is going in and out, and I'm like, fucking so, I talk about this in the book. So now I'm up on the pool deck, and I talk about it good, whatever. But here we are now, I realize now I can't get through this. Like my knee now from that pool session is like fucking a basketball. So I realized, I go back, they x-ray and say, look man, your shit's done, your patella is done. So I now go into Captain Bowen, and I don't want to get rolled again. And Captain Bowen looks at me and says, basically, we're gonna let you come back. Captain Bowen and another guy, this other guy that I don't even mention, kind of wants me to mention him. If it wasn't for this guy, I want to mention his name so bad, you know what I'm talking about, but I want to mention his name so bad. He actually talked to him a couple months ago. This is the guy that made this happen. He broke rules, I believe, to make this happen.
Okay.
Because I wasn't supposed to come back for a 3rd time.
Okay.
Like, this is like inhumane. In 1 year, go through another Hell Week. So I'm sitting there in front of Captain Bowen, and Captain Bowen's like, look man, we're gonna let you come back in class 235. This is class 231. With a broken kneecap, look it up, man. Like, that's not a lot of time.
That's what I'm thinking.
So this was in May. I classed up again in January. I have stress fractures. Stress fractures don't heal that quick, man. Especially when you beat them up. So I had that much time to heal, and that's it. My last time to go through Navy SEAL training. So I come back, and I'm now in my 3rd Hell Week. We had a guy die in my 3rd Hell Week from pulmonary edema, as you know, San Diego gets fucking cold, especially in February, March. That water temperature, the Pacific is never warm. He ended up dying. So I get to, and so Hell Week ended on Thursday morning because he died.
Okay.
So in about 30 hours early. But what happened with me was, as I said, Hell Week starts on Sunday. Usually you don't swell up until about Wednesday. My body said, oh shit, man, we're back. On Monday, 24 hours into it, man, I'm the Pillsbury Doughboy. My stress fractures, I'm blown up. So I'm going through Hell Week like fucking done. But I'm like, I can't quit. This is my last time going through. I can't get rolled. So I get through Hell Week, and this is where the shit gets fucking evil, man. This is where I start to click into something. When your mind, this is this whole 40% rule shit I talk about all the time, that I made up a long time ago. And I started making it up through pain.
Tell them what that is. Where'd you go?
So basically the 40% rule is, I am a strong believer that we quit. Because why? How the fuck does a 297-pound cockroach guy who quit on everything is now considered one of the best men on the planet? How is that possible? It means I had to change one thing, my mindset. So there's no way in hell that was in, but that guy was in me. Well, that guy came down here and said, hey, guess what, man? You're a fat ass, but I'm gonna now make you a badass. I'm gonna miracle this shit to be a badass. No, it was in me. I had to believe and make that belief work. And through hard work, I did that. So the 40% rule is like we have like a car. Some cars have a governor on it. And when you get to like 92 miles an hour, that car start doing this because it can't go any faster. Those cars that don't have governors on, like a fast ass whatever, Porsche, whatever, I'm gonna fucking bury it, gone. We have that ability in us, but we have put this governor on our minds. And you have to, the factory that put the governor on that car, the factory is now you. That put that shit on your fucking mind. You gotta take that motherfucker off. Until you take it off, you're gonna constantly get to 92 miles an hour and do this. Cause you ain't gonna go no faster. As a matter of fact, you might even go slower. So basically, I started realizing this through my life, through going through all these times. So now I get through Hell Week, we ended like 30 hours early, and now we're in Walk Week. After you get through Hell Week, you have Walk Week. And Walk Week is when you're basically just walking around to heal up your body. And our Walk Week ended early because the instructors were pissed off. A guy dies. But the instructors are mad that we didn't finish a complete Hell Week, but I already had a complete Hell Week already.
Of course.
Because I already gone through one already. So now I'm sitting there thinking, man, I already went through fucking 1.5 of these. Now I have like 2.5 of these motherfuckers. And now I'm getting my ass kicked because now the instructors are mad that our class didn't complete a full Hell Week and like they were like getting a pass. So they said, Roger that. They shut Walk Week down on like Tuesday. So everybody that was injured, because the Hell Week was very different than most of them, they had us on our feet the whole time, rucking, doing nothing but rucking, in and out of the water. It was brutal. So it was a much harder Hell Week than the other ones I was in. So anyway, my legs were broken. I'm sitting thinking, how the fuck now there's no Walk Week, I can't heal. So my idea was this, I'm gonna have to leave my house early, because I lived off base. And I left early. I got to my dive cage where we had duct tape. So I put my black sock on about 4 o'clock in the morning, put a black sock on, and what I did was I got duct tape. So you know, whenever you move your ankle, it causes your shin to hurt if you have any issue up here. So what I did was I casted with duct tape. So I put the duct tape over the sock, and so the sock kind of protected it to give it a little cushion. I duct taped it as tight as I could, and right here at the pivot point, it created a huge pressure ulcer because your ankle still wants to move. So that tape would just dig in there. So I did that every single day because my stress fractures were just killing me. So I ran pretty much for the first 45 minutes, the most excruciating pain of my life. God. And so, but basically after 45 minutes, my legs would go numb. And when they go numb, you don't feel this shit anymore. So I went through buds like this. So now, the fucked up thing about it,
my gosh, man,
is I get the third phase, and for some reason, man, I healed my stress fractures.
Really?
And to this day, I haven't had them ever since. But I literally from running, and I'm not saying don't do this, but people go, how'd you get through it? By the time I got to third phase, which is like maybe 3.5 months later, when I went to third phase, my stress fractures were healed.
That's crazy.
And I ran on them. And people say, was it shin splints? No, motherfucker. I had x-rays. They were breaks in my legs.
Man.
So, and I'm not
crazy.
saying do that,
Yeah.
but because it's very painful.
Well, most people aren't willing to go to a point where they get their body to the point where it gets numb.
Right.
That you were, right?
And people say, why did you do that? It's either that or not become a Navy SEAL.
You ain't see me activated. You better hope that you never see me agitated. I think about my actions, plan them out, evaluated. That's how I end up on the top, man, I'm calculated. My mind's a weapon, my body is the engine. I'm never second guessing, I just do what I was destined. Cause I feel I got the blessing, persistence and obsession. That's how you keep progressing, I already